clash thing, we not come to play. The rhythm and me style ramp thing, pumping up the bass. The rise can't cool, make the fire blaze. Pull up my selector, hold tight, we mash up the place. Pull up my selector, hold tight, we mash up the place. Selector, hold tight, we must up the place. Selector, hold tight, we must up the place.
Yo, what is going on? How's everybody feeling? Man, it's been a while since I got on YouTube. Can y'all hear me? Is everything good on the noise side of things? Can you guys hear me fine? I know there's a little bit of a delay. Drop some ones in the chat if y'all can hear me good. Let me know if y'all can see everything. Perfect. How y'all feeling? This is going to be first of many, right? We're going to be bringing the live streams back. I know I was doing it a bit earlier on. Man, was that even... No, that was last year. Last time I did streams was like last year, so... Yeah, we're getting back into the groove of things. Feel free to share this with anybody you know. We're going to be diving into really anything and everything. Really with these sessions, it would be ideal to get interaction so I have something to go with because, this session is really for anybody to ask me any questions. In the future, I'll probably plan things to do as well on the live stream, but, today is going to be the first day to kind of dive into things. So how's everyone feeling? What's good? Chris, stick to the mother effing plan. Rich, what's good? We got Nancy in the house. What's going on? Welcome. All right. So, is there anything that you guys have been looking at this week so far? It's been a solid month. We're about to get into a new month here after tomorrow. I'm excited for June, honestly. June's about to be June is potentially could be a movie. There's going to be a lot of stuff going down in June. I'm excited for it for the month of June. Just yen pairs low key. I feel that. Gold, yep. I'll be rocking with the metals too. Married to them. I feel that. Hey man, you've been crushing them yen pairs. So hey, stick to what works with you, 100%. I can resonate with you there, Nancy. Gold has been bae with me for a little bit. This week was really focusing on longs. I didn't take the long today though. I took the long on silver today, which looks like price is absorbing and selling off now. So I'm wondering if everything is probably going to sell off going into next month, and then we can see a higher trajectory on things. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And I'm curious to see where silver is going to go. Right, we've obviously hit. Let's just kind of do a full on, just remove everything on here. Yeah, so silver. Man, silver is something long term. Would very much like to see it just continue to create, higher highs. Ideally attacking all-time highs. If any of y'all are students within, the academy as well as, within the trade house, you guys know that, this is something that we've been accumulating ever since, $12, really since that move with the pandemic that happened. And since then, we've been buying it. And we've been looking for this top to get blown off for a while now. So now that price has taken the highs, right? I think the ideal goal at this point would possibly be to see some retracement and just continue to see price go to the upside. I'm really going to be mainly looking at this weekly range here. Right, expecting price to possibly retrace a little deeper into some of these lower areas of imbalance and, seeing that movement up. I wouldn't be surprised if silver does want to possibly attack lows. We'll see. Going to be really watching out for volume. Right, but yeah, this YouTube stream is really to provide y'all some value. One of the things that I really saw that was valuable with YouTube the first time I was running it up was, providing people some knowledge essentially for free, and piques interest to learn more. Because trading was something that I feel that everybody wants to get to know about at least a little bit before they kind of dive into things. And this is my way of providing that value to y'all. I know some of y'all were gaining a lot of value from when I was doing it before, especially because I was doing like live streams for like New York session. How many of y'all were here for that? I don't know if this is crazy, but yeah, we can get into the whole. I know I've been getting actually a few messages about that whole Trump thing, so we can get into that. Been here since pimpin'. Yeah, so it's like, the way I look at it, I'm not going to do New York live streams again. I mean, maybe in the future, something I really thought about. This session is really going to be kind of chill. Reason why, it's kind of like a charts and chill type of thing. But really the goal with this is to provide anybody value on questions and stuff. That's the thing, it's like, if you guys want me to be on here longer and, you guys want me to because, there's a lot of things I can dive into. It's just a matter of you guys interacting with me, engaging with me, and I'll obviously get into whatever, right? This is a really free game for you guys. So feel free to ask any questions, interact, share this with people that that might be interested in trading. I remember the New York Open streams. Yes, sir. And we were catching a lot of bangers live back then too. Like, we were actually looking at major news events and just smacking them live. I think I only had like a few days where we were off or missed things, but yeah, man, I'm excited to get this back with y'all. I know today's the first day, so, probably not going to have insane viewers like how I was at my peak on YouTube, but hey, we're going to get into things. But yeah, Silver, feel free to interact with me in the chat, ask me any questions, literally anything. I'm an open book on this. We can get into trading, we can get into crypto, we can get into stocks. We can get into NFTs. Really anything, right? We can dive into the whole 9 yards, to be honest. But yeah, silver is something that's been super interesting. I think the biggest thing is paying attention to silver versus gold and just seeing how much, silver is starting to see strength now. Gold is something that we're obviously long-term bullish on as well, but, can silver finally catch up to gold? Right? Like I was talking about, all-time highs on silver has not been touched. Whereas, gold has, continuously broke all-time highs this year, last year, and just continuously rallying and rallying and rallying. So I think silver, I think we're really about to get into a massive, massive, massive bull cycle when it comes to the metals. We've already been in a massive bull cycle long-term. Yeah, talking about gold here in the chat. Gold was something that I was looking at earlier on this week. Really paying attention to it after we got this major sell volume here. Price breaking lower, right? Us getting that break of structure and, really looking for longs all across the board once this happened. Right? This was some of the areas we were looking at live. If you guys are students that are a part of the academy that I teach, if you guys do want insight on that, there are links on my on the website on my channel. You guys can feel free to apply if you want to become a student. And these were areas we were looking at for gold. Today, I think there was a phenomenal entry opportunity based off of the news that we had today. right? We ended up getting higher unemployment, which is something that we've been wanting to see for a potential surprise rate cut going into June, possibly, or sometime this year. Be ideal, right? This was a phenomenal play. I personally didn't take gold. I took silver because I missed the bottom on this, and it didn't quite fill the order that I wanted to see, so I ended up missing gold. But then I shifted my focus over to silver. Right, silver made a new lower low, right, with less volume. And I was paying attention to once this low got swept, right, because this is essentially our lowest point of the day. Right, was eyeing out on the 1 minute price action. Right, so if anybody, was following me on my socials, right, this is where I took my entry right in here. Right, on this candle, price revisiting that 1 minute candle after running the low of the day and breaking structure. And I was simply just targeting above London highs going into this imbalance, which I'm grateful I targeted there because price ended up reversing. But, solid target there. Entries are obviously very important in the market environment, but having those strict exits is very important as well. What's good, Adnan? Josh, what's good? Eden in the house, what's good, man? I took that silver trade as well. Let's get it. Yeah, it was so clean today. Cleaner than my son's butt after a diaper change, if I do say so myself. All right, very clean. And yeah, we ended up selling off, which is cool. I think that, at the end of the day, metals do have a seasonality to sell off a bit further. So that's why I'm wondering if we're going to get lower entries possibly in the future, considering that silver did make a new high here for the year. Not only that, we actually created a high that was above, the high of like 2013 or going into the high of 2013. We took out February 2013's wick. So now that we've taken out a lot of these wicks and a lot of price action that we haven't even visited in over a decade, basically, can we see retracements, right? This is something I'm going to be looking out for long term, right, to consider to look for long. So, on the future side of things, silver is something that I do trade on futures just because CFDs is kind of crazy. Considering this week, we started off very bullish, but price has now left, a candle here with no wick. All right, there's no wick on that candle. Let me just actually double check futures as well. Yeah, we have no wick on that candle, I don't think. Oh, wait, futures has a wick there. Let's see on the other one, data. Okay, interesting. Micros has a wick, but minis don't. So I'm going to just take that as there is no wick there. So that's all I'm wondering, can we sell off a little bit deeper? Do we get better long positions going into the future? One of the things I'm going to be watching out for the month of June. What am I going to be doing on my YouTube streams now? I mean, what do you want me to do? You tell me. We can get into anything. That's really what this YouTube stream is going to be for. Everything and anything, right? Analysis about whatever. We can dive into mindset stuff. Maybe we can even dive into tinfoil hat conversations. I'm always down for that. All right? So, all right, we're actually getting some viewers on here. Lit. Indubitably. Thoughts on crypto for the rest of the year? There we go. Now we're getting some interaction. So, crypto. So Bitcoin was something that, if you guys even saw I think the reel was dropped yesterday where I was talking about Jim Cramer at the lows. That's where we were really accumulating 16, 20K. Obviously now we're sitting at almost 70K, bit under there. We did have our halving happened. Man, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. I think at this point, Bitcoin overall, I am expecting overall bullishness. We broke back bullish on the daily structure. I would like to see us continuously create all-time highs. I think the biggest catalyst for crypto to continue trading higher, well, one catapulting situation that could help that, of course, is rate cuts, which is one thing that I'm speculating going into June. Just because, I think it's going to be even clearer going into next week, because next week, Friday, we have unemployment rates. So if we continue to see higher unemployment rates, is that going to give us a reasoning for rate cuts going into June, right? Next week, we have unemployment claims. The following week, we have CPI as well as federal funds rate decisions. I'm wondering if we can get, something like that. We don't have to, though. Price could just leave that imbalance, just like how it's left so much imbalances on the way up. So that's one area I'm watching, or otherwise, we could obviously just kind of stick in here. You guys can probably, for anybody that's been studying volume with me, I do see this here. So this is going to continue to rally. That'll be awesome. All right, rallying into 75K. But I think overall, crypto in general is something that we can continue to DCA and stuff into. Right, as y'all know, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Probably should have started the stream with that. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, but, I think crypto is on its way to the upside, right? Ethereum, same ways. I was expecting something like this to happen for the ETFs. The ETFs got approved. I wanted to see if Ethereum was going to give us a little bit of a deeper retracement before we continue, which could still potentially happen. But yeah, BTC, Bitcoin is something that, going into these next up and coming years, I want to see at 6 figures. Ethereum is something I want to see in 5 figures. Right? So I think it's time to be accumulating certain things. Alts haven't ran yet. And I think one of the main catalysts for alts to really move is going to be Ethereum, right? Ethereum really gives it its move. We can see that. If we take a look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, if this strength continues here, I think that would also help the alts. I like how we created a new low with less sell volume here. So this could give us signs of a spring potentially forming. And on top of that, we're starting to break weekly structure to the upside, right? So does this now continue? And does this strength now continue over to the alts? Right? And we're also in a little bit of a different time too, because Bitcoin hit all-time highs before the Bitcoin halving even happened. So I found that very interesting as well, right? When Bitcoin halving happened, that was like literally right in here. We did trade a little bit lower. Came into the imbalance that I was looking at. All right, for any of my students that were already here, you guys knew this was our analysis. And then we started to see, that breakup and price trailing higher. So, does price want to rebalance certain imbalances? If it does, cool. But if you're somebody that's margin trading it, that's where that precision would be ideal. But, if you're just somebody that's accumulating the actual digital asset itself, accumulating Bitcoin itself. And, I think for that, does it really matter if it's a little bit off from your pricing? It's just like two different mindsets, when it comes to like margin trading, or, if you're trading CFDs or if you're trading futures, precision on entry is very important, right? Entering and exiting is very important. But when it comes to, buying and holding, or buying the coin, you're more looking at a overall average price that you're looking to accumulate in. So, personally for myself, unless if I have some crazy free money, I'm not planning on buying more Bitcoin at the moment. I'm more focused on certain altcoins that I want to see. Because Bitcoin's already something that I focused on accumulating in the 16 to 20K range. So now it's like anything, if I do get some substantial free money, then I will, throw it into more Bitcoin. But otherwise, I'm looking to average into more of my alt positions. That's really where my head's at. But yeah, that's really my thoughts on crypto. And we can kind of go down the list here. I've been holding XRP from 30 cents, and this is, it gave me like 100-something%, or even, really almost 300% if mans were able to exit out right when the SEC case came out and they won it. But, this is something that I've been continuously holding. I would like to see if XRP can break above $1 and do all that. I think it would make sense. XLM as well. It came into that imbalance, right? And nice strong sell volume candle there. So I would like to see if this rallies as well. That would be dope. Outside of that, this is something else that I've been continuously looking at. I'm just curious to see if ICP is going to dip to $8 or not. If it does, then perfect. I'll average down more. But yeah, this is something that I've been accumulating from $10 to $14 so far. I have ammo left on the side just in case if it does want to come back down, just so I can get a better averaging price overall. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on crypto. Overall bullish, right? We're seeing, ETFs getting approved, right? Crypto made Wall Street, so I would just continue to look for higher movement on that, right? Because it really comes down to a basic supply and demand thought. Bitcoin is something that we are only ever going to have, 21 million of them. All right. We currently have a circulating supply of, 19.7 million. Not all of them have been mined yet. And it's also just kind of thinking about it in the long-term scheme of things, right? You're seeing massive institutions, big even countries, accumulating this. Now you're also seeing a lot of other entities disclosing that they had Bitcoin this whole time, right? Which isn't that a coincidence? They didn't tell us that, they were accumulating back in 20K, but now they'll tell us, yeah, we have this much of Bitcoin. So I find that interesting. I think any company that has crypto overall is going to do phenomenal. It's just, I do see crypto as a next massive major, hard asset, just like, silver and gold, right? Just something that you guys can see continuously grows long term. The SP 500, NASDAQ, Dow, these are all things that continues to grow long term. I see Bitcoin in that same pool of all of them. Right, but the thing that's the most interesting that I find about Bitcoin compared to even the metals is that there's very much a limited supply, right? So, this is something that I will continue to accumulate as I get better pricing or as I get free cash. Bitcoin is something that I would not like to let go of. It's something that I would like to hand down to my future generations. That's the way I look at Bitcoin. I really don't think we need 14,500 tokens. I think there's only going to be a certain amount of tokens going into the future. A lot of these tokens are not going to be there anymore. It's really going to be a test of time, like Beer Coin and Super Trump and all this other random BS. I don't really care for all that. I'd rather put my money into something that's shown proven growth long term than try to speculate on like the next random coin that comes out. Thoughts on GU? It really depends on what dollar does. Dollar did give me its sell-off that I was wanting to see from here. But that's why I'm wondering. I think that June can give us another sell-off potentially. That's why I still have this higher area marked up. So if that's the case, I mean, GU could sell off a bit deeper. It's possible. I really, to be honest with you, I haven't touched currency in a minute. The one thing I did have marked up for currency was UCAD today, but I didn't take it because it was just, or not today, but this week. I just had this squiggly line drawn up here to look for a break, which it gave me the break, but it just came in at a time I just was not paying attention. I'm not up at 4 or 5 central to pull trigger on this. So by the time I woke up, I mean, this was already kind of moved. So it is what it is. But yeah, you know, I think GU could give deeper pullbacks, and then depending on what happens with the dollar going into next month, we could see overall bullishness. We'll see. I would like to see overall GU at least meeting 1.31500, 400 around this high. We'll see if we get that. What have been some of your biggest struggles lately? I would say because I transitioned into futures, I wouldn't really say this is a struggle though, because I kind of figured it out already. But I think, you know, one of the things I was going through this year was, you know, swinging was a little bit, because last year I had a lot of my greatest trades I ever had in my entire career. A lot of them were swings. So I kind of went in with that same mentality to start off this year. And certain things played out well for me. You know, like gold was nice, NASDAQ was nice, certain swings were nice. But when it came to currency, I kept getting hit out, break even, or, you know, getting stopped out, small loss, and just, you know, not securing the bag. And, you know, trading futures now too, especially, you know, if you guys, you know, trade any futures in general, I mean, it's kind of challenging to hold positions, especially if you're not in at, you know, bottom pricing and stuff like that. So I think the most challenging thing for me was probably currency, but everything else was, that's why, you know, I'm not saying it's a challenge for me anymore, because I kind of just shifted my focus into trading indices and metals. So I would say that was kind of the bigger challenge. And it was also the fact that just also managing multiple accounts, you know, because I have a personal account. Well, I have multiple personal accounts. But then, you know, managing accounts for intraday and then managing accounts for swing, you know, sometimes getting lost in the sauce with trying to target further than when I should be. But, you know, once again, these are all things that I was experiencing. I kind of figured out plans for that now to just kind of secure a bag for myself on intraday thoughts. And then, you know, if I want to swing, I've now detached from that. And I also think that swinging and being detached from a trading outcome is also easier when you have more cash flow, right? Because, I mean, I think anybody here that can agree with me, you know, trading when you're not, let's say, for example, trading when you know your bills are paid, or your certain things that you have going on in your life are paid, then it's more of a free mindset. You know, like you're not going to really care too much about the outcome. Obviously, at the end of the day, we want to make money, but you're going in more with the mentality of, you know, I don't really care if this goes in place or not. So I was kind of juggling that of like, okay, which trade should I be more aggressive on taking profit in comparison to others that I would be holding. So I would say that was probably one of my bigger challenges. Do you see ETH has strength now? Yeah, I mean, I'm just reading this. I need to keep up more with the chat. I can just go on tangents with things. But yeah, you know, that's why I was looking at pulled up the ETH BTC chat earlier, or the chart, sorry. You know, looking at this from the monthly, you know, that's what I'm seeing. Right, so from a monthly perspective, I like this inside of this imbalance. And then now we're starting to see weekly start to break. So Now, ideally, if we can get an absorption here, but then price overall sticking to trade higher, I think we should be good on ETH strength now. What are your thoughts on the New World Order and Democrats? I'm unbiased. Oh, wait. Before I get into that, someone asked a question about the Trump news. So I know you got, put guilty for whatever. Was that actually, a full-fledged decision? Oh, he's guilty now? I know there's a delay on the stream, so... I vaguely read that today. I was going to look into it now, but, I had to do the stream, so I didn't really get to read the articles and stuff, but I'm in the mindset right now of seeing... I do want to see Trump in office this year. I literally have a bet on it. I bet that he's going to be in office. I would like all of this false news to give me better odds on my bet. That would be awesome. But, I think these are ways of getting people off of that thought that Trump isn't going to come into office. I know he is technically guilty or whatever right now, but hey, I think he could probably prove himself wrong or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I genuinely do think that he's going to probably get elected this year, is what I'm thinking. Especially if our overall, my overall thoughts with the entire market environment, if we're going to go into a massive bull cycle, I think Trump coming into office would be that perfect mix to that. So we'll see. But with your answer, your question about the whole New World Order thing, that's what I feel like a lot of people are kind of stuck on, the idea that crypto is going to be decentralized, but to me, it's going to be used to centralize things. I think the future is moving more into centralization. It's not decentralization. I think that's a fallacy that people are believing. That's why, to me, even right now, I'm really focused on, keeping my expenses down, not buying stuff that I don't need to, not spending money that I need to, and making sure that I'm averaged in accordingly into this. Because I do feel that this current bull cycle we're about to go into is going to be different than any other cycle that we've experienced. I think this bull cycle is going to be much bigger than the one that we experienced in 2020. Right? Because in 2020, that was very much pushed price from, loans and people getting free money from the government because of stimulus checks and CERB checks and stuff like that. Whereas now there's a bunch of free money floating around. I think that all of that is going to be pushed into the right places in the market, be it crypto, be it American companies that are truly, creating stuff in the world. I think America is going to be in the best position going. I think America is going to be in ruling for this entire century, to be honest with you. People think that America is going to fall. I think America is just getting started. So that's where my head's at. So it's at the end of the day, we can't even stop what they plan on doing. This agenda that they've created is an agenda that's been created before our parents were even born. This is you guys got me to go right down the rabbit hole here, but let's be real though, who owns America? Who owns all of these places? I would highly recommend you to read. I don't have the book here right now. It's over there on my shelf, but I would highly recommend you to read this book right here. Meet your straw man and whatever you want to know. Not only reading this book, but in the back, it shows you treaties, laws, and things that have been in effect for centuries. And this will really teach you about this stuff. There's also a book called Creature from Jekyll Island. Right? This book will teach you how the Federal Reserve was made. And this is why, if you guys truly go down this rabbit hole, and then you also read the other book that I just showed you, and Strawman with whatever you want to know. A lot of people think that Rome fell. Rome did not fall. Rome is still in ruling till this day. So I'm saying it's all a fallacy that's created. And we're still living in that system till today. Right? It's the same people that have been controlled for centuries are still in control now. And that's why I'm saying this plan has been something that's been going on for centuries. And, if you really think about it, prior to the U.S. being the major currency that was traded around the world, it was, it was the pound, right? British was ruling. It was the British Empire. And if you really read this book, right, Creature of Jekyll Island, right, you'll understand that the same people that, were ruling the British Empire are the same ones that created the Federal Reserve Bank, which now owns this entire debt system that we are a part of, right? What the heck? I don't know what this thing is. I don't know why this is blocking the whole screen. But yeah, this whole debt system and everything that we look at right here in front of us, the debt ceiling is continuing to rise. I don't see it stopping. And then you just got to really think about it. It's like, if people have been in power for so long, why would they, these people don't care about money. I mean, they already got all the money in the world. So now it's power. And, they've put the U.S. in a situation where I think they're about to be the next, they already are the next major, even if you look at it, they're funding both sides of the war right now that's happening in the Middle East. Right? You guys can do your own due diligence on that. Yeah, they're fighting on one side or for one side, but they're also funding the other side. So I just think this is a massive circus show for them. I know there's lives being lost and stuff, but that's the reality of things. So, to... the whole thoughts on that, I don't think it's going to change. And this isn't also something that's going to happen and things are just going to be like, oh, everything's going to be centralized and all that. This is going to take time. Really think about it. This plan has been going on for centuries already. And there's still a lot of parts to it. So the best thing that you could do is not trip out about it. Right? Because at the end of the day, if you sit there, and that's the other thing, right? Some people, they go down the rabbit hole, and I really want to make this clear. Some people go down the rabbit. It's crazy because I started talking about this rabbit hole stuff, and some viewers dropped. They weren't ready to listen to all this. So it's like, you can go down the rabbit hole, but don't get lost in it, in the sense of, you got to more understand what's going on in the background than gluing yourself to an opinion, oh, the world is messed up. Because this is the other thing you got to think about it. If there wasn't a system like this created in the first place, how would humans advance? We would be stuck in the what age is it? Like the caveman age, or the age of, how would man advance if we just stayed the same way? We wouldn't. The system was essentially created for us to evolve and move. The best way that I personally looking at it is, I think some movies that are amazing to kind of see this all flourish is Terminator. Watch all the Terminator movies first, and then after that, watch The Matrix. Because to me, Terminator happened before the Matrix. Matrix is the aftermath of Terminator. Right? Or even if you check out Lucy. I mean, I'm giving you guys a bunch of book and movie recommendations. This will help you insight that this is just a cycle that we're a part of. Just like how the market goes through cycles, I mean, this is the human cycle. Right? So that's how I look at that. I know that was probably a deep answer, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, when you're exiting, what are your thoughts on Trump? I mean, I kind of already answered that. I mean, Trump, I mean, he's proven it in the past. He does great things for the people. Right? Blue jackets who usually come into the office and they mess shit up. Right? And then, red jackets come in and they boom the economy. So I would love to see Trump in office. I mean, we'll see. When you're exiting from tops, would you go straight to stables or go into other sectors? I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to do. Unless if you're exiting, like one of the things that I did was, I was in STX. I average into STX down at like 30 cents. And then I exited around like $3. But then I took this and then I put it into another crypto. So I took the profits, paid myself a little bit, and then I put it into another crypto. So I always think that having ammo on the side is also very important. The cash flow is important. That's why I say, having cash flow is important. And then having us, just because you make some money, you don't just up your lifestyle. Like I made that mistake too. I've started making more money than I ever did in my entire life. And, your boy got a little bit crazy and I started to splurge and stuff and buying unnecessary things that I really did not need to buy when I could have just continued to keep the snowball rolling. It's like, okay, let's say if you're somebody that, let's say, just hypothetically, let's say you put 4 figures into the market and you end up flipping that into 5. Most people will cash out that 5 and buy a bunch of materialistic things that aren't really gaining you any value overall. And now you got to start from ground zero again. Or you take that 5 and now you plan and do things to make it into 6 and keep that snowball rolling. So that's why I'm saying it really depends on all right, I might cut out here. There's like a storm going on. Houston, Texas begin some crazy weather, but yeah, that's just kind of where my head's at with that. It all just depends on your plan and what you're plan on doing. A lot of the stuff that I'm accumulating, like I'm going to be more aggressive on taking profit on alts. And I don't want to let go of things like Bitcoin. Like, I'd rather just hold my Bitcoin long term. That's just kind of the mentality I'm going with. So I'll pay myself on other things to just get out of them. And then, hey, I might just pay myself to grab more BTC at better pricing. Are you going to start streaming on YouTube again? Yeah, this is going to be a weekly thing every Thursday. So feel free to leverage this and get the people. It's actually crazy. Like, my viewers on YouTube is looking like a reaccumulation right now for the stream. That's dope. I appreciate y'all. If y'all can like the stream as well, that would be much appreciated. Subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I'm going to have to get a stream box so I can like press the button and then do some cool stuff. Yes, sir. Bye. Hold strong. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, everything that I'm accumulating right now, especially my longer term things, like I don't even plan on exiting like anytime soon. That's like long-term holds for me at this point. How do you even bet on that? I'm assuming you're talking about the Trump thing. Certain sports books allow you to, like I use Bovada. Bovada allows you to bet on political stuff. don't even know if I can drop my link in the chat. Let's see if I can. There you go. So it's like, yeah, if you go on that website that I just dropped, there's like a section for politics, and then you can bet on the U.S. presidential election. Right now, Trump's odds are pretty booty. They're like negative. So, I mean, hopefully it gets better. I mean, we'll see. If it does, then I'll drop again on that. Just a little something light. I don't go crazy on that type of stuff. That was really good insight. Thank you. No worries. It's not final. More court dates coming up. I think 2 more. Okay. Yeah, so perfect. So that's the thing. Like, they've been saying so much stuff about Trump in like mass media to make him look bad. And he's like been fighting through all of it. So I think it's just like a fear-mongering tactic. Bro, when I looked stuff up from your Meet Your Strawman links, my phone started crashing and glitching. I stopped and my phone started working like nothing. Yeah, they don't want you to know. I mean, I'm surprised I was saying all this stuff. I mean, I think I'm just like a lowball streamer right now. So, you know, it is what it is. There's some real powerful families out there who control. Yeah. Yep. I mean, literally, you know, one of the biggest things that I always tell everybody is this, right? Follow the money, right? And when you follow the money, that's how I told you guys to go look at those books, right? Because those books show you certain people. Those certain people lead you to certain families, and you'll start to learn about all that stuff. And that's the thing, you know, some people go down that rabbit hole and then their head is messed up. But for me, I'm a truth seeker, so I want to know. You know, I don't get... When I first started going down the rabbit hole in 2019, I mean, you know, for any of you guys that have ever had a conversation with Mike Miles, you guys know that he will just dive right into things. And, you know, he did trip me out at first, but, you know, I started to then have more of a clear understanding for the rabbit hole, right? Because then you start to learn about things that, in my opinion, like, it just strengthens my bias on things too. Like, when I start learning about this certain stuff, it just gives me more and more of a reason to keep going with this. Because there's like, what else do you want to know? I think it's also my zodiac sign. I'm actually the 13th zodiac sign. I'm an Oxyphiscus, and Oxyphiscuses love truth-seeking. They love looking at new information and are curious. So I think it's generally within my star sign as well that I'm curious as I am curious. So there's that. But yeah, you know, I would continue to go down that. Same time for the streams. Yeah, Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. What's good, Space Cadet? Appreciate it. If Trump doesn't win, then it's rigged. I mean, it is what it is, you know. I find, this is the other thing I find interesting. It's an election year, right? This was actually something that Jordan brought up on his stream, and I actually started to think about it too. It's like, it's an election year, but like, there isn't any like pep rallies and signs being put up everywhere, and like, there's none of that, which I find very interesting because, I mean, this is the first time I'm experiencing an election like in the U.S., but like, I'm originally from Canada, right? So in Canada, when it's an election year, I mean, from the beginning of the year, you know, people are putting up like the little signs in the front of their lawns, and, you know, there's signs everywhere, right? Vote for this person, or blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm seeing none of that. So I find that very interesting. I'm a firm believer that this stuff is even rigged anyways. I've never voted. other than like a few times when I was younger, I voted because like my parents kind of just told me, hey, come and vote. But, you know, I think this is all a circus in my eyes. You know, they choose who they want to put in office at certain times. They choose what they want to do. Same thing for sports teams, right? I mean, my bet on NBA this year was wrong, but it also kind of makes sense. Is Dallas still in? Are Mavs still in? I think they are, right? For NBA playoffs. Yeah, it's Dallas, Celtics. So it's Mavs, Celtics, and Timberwolves now. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins. Probably be a code with the fact that Rangers won too. Wouldn't be surprised with that. Yeah, it's all one big stage. It's crazy that it's all controlled chaos. Yep, they're still in it. Yeah, it really is. It is all controlled chaos. You know, and that's why I don't, you know, like, it's like they move and manipulate things using fear, right? I mean, that's what the composite man does. Reason why I study, you know, this certain individual so much, and why, you know, we break him down on the academy so much. You know, it's this one thought, right? It's called the composite man. Right? The composite man carefully plans, executes, and concludes his campaigns. There's like a massive thunderstorm going on outside right now. So if I cut out, it is what it is. But, you know, for example, right here, the composite man attracts the public to buy a stock in which he has already accumulated. Right? I mean, if you guys even saw my my reel on Instagram yesterday, right? Feel free to check it out, right? I'm assuming most of y'all came here from my Instagram, anyways, because that's where I promoted on. But you know, feel free to follow me on Instagram. My Twitter got clapped. I'm still trying to get it back, but you know, feel free to follow me on Instagram. There's a lot of valuable content there that you guys can check out. But, you know, it's like, why would, you know, Jim Cramer talk about how he wouldn't touch crypto in a million years? Literally right in here. Like this candle right there. It's like, isn't that a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I think it's all controlled anyways. And then the FTX collapses here. You know, second biggest exchange at the time in the world. Huh. Aren't those two? And that same exchange that collapsed was also the same one that funded Biden's campaign. Interesting, right? Very interesting. And then right here, you know, Silicon Valley collapses, the bank. Even more interesting. And then right here, you know, there's Binance getting attacked by the SEC. Even more cool, right? So it's like all of these quote-unquote fearful things was ways for them to accumulate more Bitcoin, right? Because this is a thing that a lot of people don't understand, right? Remember, this is the thing that is different about Bitcoin compared to any other hard asset out there. Bitcoin, there will only ever be 21 million, ever. That's it, right? So there's only ever going to be 21 million of them, and you have some. And there's people out there that have higher money and power than you, and they want to accumulate your Bitcoin. The only way that they can make you let go is by creating false news and scaring you out of your position. Right? That's the only way. Right? They scare you out of your position, so you sell your Bitcoin so that they can buy it. This is what the composite man does. Right? You know, for anybody that's new here and thinking that I'm crazy, well, I literally just showed you proof of it happening before. And, you know, you'll come back and look at the stream in a couple years from now and be like, damn, this dude that was wearing this beige hat on YouTube was telling me about this, and I wasn't paying attention. Because this is the thing you gotta really think about, right? If they want to accumulate your position, they're gonna fear you out of it, because there's only ever gonna be this much. And this is the same thing with the stock market, right? Because shares of companies are also very limited. So what do? They say, oh, we're about to get into a recession. And see how the most selling that we ever saw, ever, in the entirety of the entire stock market, ever, right? We have never seen sell volume like this in our entire life, right? Where do I learn all this? So there was an alien that pulled up to my crib one day in 2020, and he's been watching from outside of the earth for a while now, and he's just, he's like 300 years old, and he's been just telling me about it. No, I'm kidding, but I learned it from the trade house. My boy said I got probed. You're wildin'. It's honestly studying the market and continuing to be a student. I learned a lot from the trade house, right? Literally the hat that I'm wearing right now. I learned a lot from the resources that they provided me as well. I self-taught myself a good amount. I really give a huge shout out to my mentor, Jordan Morgan. And, I continue to study this market, all the time. And if you do want to become one of my students, go onto my website, which is slayingpips.com. Well, that's embarrassing. That's crazy. They don't even want me to show you guys my website right now. Why does it do that? That's so weird, dude. Hold on. We'll be back after these messages. Why is it doing this? What the heck? Why can't I log on my own freaking website right now? Okay, there we go. Man, that was annoying. But yeah, you can hop on my website. Sorry that took so long. I don't know what the heck happened, but my link to my website is in my Instagram bio, so you can find it on there. There should also be a link, I think, on my YouTube somewhere. And then apply to be a student. You can come learn more from me. See if you qualify to be one of my students, and then we can kind of go from there. And you can get tapped in with the rest of the educators here in the Trade House, and we talk about this stuff weekly. On our streams, we go through it weekly. Right? You can come learn from us. You can continue to learn alongside us. And that's the thing, too. I do believe in continued education. That's why I continue to learn from Jordan. Because, to me personally, he's one of the best in the industry. And yeah, I mean, there's even some of the Academy students on this YouTube right now. They can share their experiences. Will this be posted to watch? It should be. I think so. I think my live streams post after. So, yeah, it should be there. Yeah, it would be great if you left the recording up. Yeah. Please do. Need to rewatch it. Yep. Well, I'm probably going to end things here soon because the thunder is getting pretty loud outside, so I don't want to just get cut midstream. I don't know what's going to happen to the recording if it does that. So, yeah, I mean, this is the first of many. You know, I appreciate y'all. I mean, we had a solid, I mean, overall, there's been about 40 people that hopped on here, but I've stayed consistent with like 14 people. So, you know, I appreciate y'all. You know, like I said, feel free to share this with people that you know, maybe they were interested in trading, but, you know, I'm an educator once again and a part of an academy that teaches over, you know, thousands of people all across the globe. You know, I actually stream on there live 3 times a week. We call live ideas on there inside of the market for multiple different markets, literally everything here on my watch list, from metals to currency to energy class to, you know, cryptos to stocks. I mean, we cover it all on our sessions. So feel free to hit me up as well. You know, my DMs are always open for questions. If you want to tap in with the mentorship, you want to learn how to understand these markets and learn alongside us, feel free. All right. And, yeah, you know, if you do want to be a student, feel free to apply, and we'll go from there. Oh, what's good, Beverly? Glad you're back on here, too. Let's get it. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and end things off there. It's been a good week. It's been a good month. I'm excited for June. Yeah, I'll see you all on YouTube next week. And if you're one of my students from the academy, I will see y'all on tomorrow's stream at 12 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate y'all. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week. And if I'm not going to see you tomorrow on my academy stream, I'll see y'all next week, Thursday. Be safe out there, everybody. Peace.